of the inequality in the way people are treated. There's no federal recognition, and the homosexual marriage benefit is a benefit to the economy. What my opponent doesn't realize, well, my opponent's first claim is that the same-sex marriages weakens the marriage institution. He's mentioned that it's equality, but it's different. He then goes to say that there's no religious affiliation, but then right now at the end, he just mentioned that it is a religious thing. He claimed that the Pope is not okay with this, but on the contrary, there was an article in Newsweek written by Taylor Woodford in October of 2014 that mentions the Pope's opinion on same-sex marriages. Taylor Woodford goes to say that in tone, at least, Monday's report is a far cry from the sort of rhetoric. Absent is any mention of homosexuality as an inherent moral evil, as Pope Benedict put it in 2005. Rather, the report said homosexuals need to be welcomed and accompanied with patience and delicacy, and that homosexuals have gifts and qualities to offer to the Christian community. So in terms of religious affiliation, the Pope is pretty accepting of homosexual marriages. My opponent also mentions Genesis 2:24, which mentions that a man should not lie with another man as he does a woman. So he goes to seem that homosexuality is the only sin that's pretty much rebuked by God in that case. But unfortunately, homosexuality is not the only sin rebuked by God. There's several circumstances. For example, William O. Walker Jr., the author of What the New Testament Says About Homosexuality, written in June 2008, he quotes 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verses 9 through 10, where he mentions, "Do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither the immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor sexual perverts, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor robbers will inherit the kingdom of God." So what William O. Walker is saying is that homosexuality it's being pinpointed by these religious affiliates, so-called, because honestly, there's obviously other sins that are rebuked in the same way by God, but people that are against this idea fall point to the homosexuality case. There's also another point which my opponent fails to realize, is that gay marriage was not an issue at the time of the Bible was written. So there's no direct passage or concept that can dictate the faith's conclusion on the subject. So John Shore, he's also an author of the book Unfair: Christians and the LGBT Question, written in June 2013. He quotes that we can be confident that Paul was not writing to or about gay people because he simply could not have been any more than he could have written about smartphones, iPads, or televisions. We do not know that what Paul might write or say today about gay people. All we know is that in the New Testament, he wrote about promiscuous, predatory, non-consensual same-sex acts between people whom he understood to be heterosexual. And then my opponent also moves on to say the procreation issue, that it's not natural. So it goes to say that people that have procreation issues, for example, infertility, does that also demean them of that right as well, if they can't procreate? I know there also is probabilities with people that are, or women that are infertile, that, have issues procreating, that they have like a surprise ability to, but generally there's not really much statistics on that. He also mentions the separation of the separation of church and state, but then goes to say that the Bible goes with the government. And as far as the government is concerned, it goes by what the founding fathers essentially founded the country on for the government. There is this notion with Christians against the subject that we shouldn't even recognize it because this is a Christian nation, which is actually completely against what the founding fathers were even looking to do. They do mention. there's like no basis for it at all. They, like, for example, Tim Brown, author for the Freedom Outpost, finds that the Constitution, the basis for most of the 50 states government was written by men and not God. So, needless to say, it is a secular notion. So, Tim Brown says, however, what I find a bit disingenuous are those that will talk about rights within the context of the Constitution, which was written by men, not God, as though the men who wrote it and backed it would have sided with practicing homosexuality on the issue of marriage. So overall, my opponent fails to realize that marriage is not entirely for procreation, and the definition of family is entirely up to whoever wants it to be on, and I don't see why it should exclude gays and not include them. Thank you.